Hi, I'm Eleni Capitanios from Breakthrough with Eleni, and welcome to the No Bullshit Breakthrough, where I try to give you real, simple information about the work I do as a rapid relief coach.
Hi, everybody. This is Katie, and she was one of my clients, and she has an amazing story, and I'm going to let her share her story. It's really inspirational. It's not specifically like I know this group is geared towards a lot of like body image and self-love type of stuff. But as you'll see with her story, if she can use her unconscious mind and the power of her brain to do these things, then I sort of feel like we can do anything, right? So anyway, this is Katie, and why don't you share a bit of your story, whatever you feel comfortable with sharing.
Okay. So I basically came to Eleni because I had several chronic health conditions, fibromyalgia, endometriosis, chronic fatigue syndrome. And I'd been sick for many years. I'd even been sick as a kid with kind of other things. So I just had a huge history of illness, but it had gotten to the point in my adult life where, I couldn't work. It impacted my life really dramatically. I was constantly afraid to go to doctors, of what they would tell me, of the future, of having to suffer. Constantly afraid of my symptoms. Basically that's a lot of it. So
You're living in fear.
Living in constant fear, basically, of being sick. And then eventually I realized too, even I didn't realize this until I started working with Eleni, but basically fear of being well too, because it had become such a part of my identity and how I had accepted it, because so many times people are like, well, you're going to be sick forever. That's chronic illness. That's the nature of it. And so I didn't want to get my hopes up too much that I could get better, since every doctor was telling me I couldn't. So I started to believe, I have to learn to accept this. Mm-hmm. That's kind of basically what everyone tells you. No, I'd never heard a story of someone getting better from fibromyalgia. Never. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I had to use my imagination.
You had to create your own reality, right?
Basically, yeah.
So yeah, one of the workshops I went to on fibromyalgia, the trainer was saying that one of his clients was told, well, you won't die from it, but you'll die with it.
Nice. Yeah, that's the chronic.
Right.
Well, I had a doctor tell me that my life was over. So even though if I don't believe that and I reject that, that stuff has been put into my mind. You can't unhear things or unsee things. And that's part of the problem. Was I was fighting that stuff all the time, trying to imagine being well, trying to say, just because I don't know anyone doesn't mean it can't happen. And I have a weird story too of getting better from when I was a child. So that also led me to be someone who's like, well, anything's possible. Because if I did it as a child, why can't I do it now?
You have evidence.
Yeah, evidence.
So what drew you to the breakthrough process with me?
I actually my symptoms started to reduce, and I started to feel that I could participate enough where I had some clarity, like I wouldn't be just passing out. So I was functioning better.
Right.
And I just gone through an extreme healing crisis that was really traumatic. Didn't feel safe in my home. I didn't feel safe in my bed because of just the memories of it. So I needed something that was stronger than therapy. I didn't want to become dependent on a therapist and just talk about my symptoms. I'd kind of gone down that road. Mm-hmm. It wasn't effective for me. Medication's definitely not effective for me. It makes my problems worse. So I wanted something that could tap into that unconscious mind. I've been looking kind of for that for a while. So when I found out, you're going to use actual techniques, not just like talking and listening, like just feels like a waste of time. I was like, actual techniques that are going to help with neuroplasticity. That's what I want to do.
So how did you find the actual process of doing the work with me?
It was interesting. I mean, at first it's really hard to kind of like use your imagination that way. But it prompts memories, it prompts questions. I did feel like it was doing something to my brain because I was exhausted after.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was more emotional after. It felt like, like I'm opening Pandora's box of emotions. But essentially it was so that they could be gone, like so that they could be released. Like I needed to get that out. Like I had never cried since I was diagnosed. Never.
Yeah.
I just, because people said, oh, you get fibromyalgia, you have depression too. So I was like, well, then it was a way to discredit my pain. Well, it was a way to discredit my pain so I would never cry. So I was like, if I cry, then that's an excuse for them to say, see, she's really just sad. So I always held that in, which it needed to come out. It needed to go through my body instead of me holding all these emotions, holding all these experiences inside my body.
Yeah.
And I could just tell that it was connected when we started working and going through stuff. My body was feeling better. And I could really tell, wow, there really is a mind-body connection because so much manifested in my body in such a physical way.
So when we figured out your root problem, that's when the symptoms, which was the fibromyalgia and the physical stuff, started to dissipate, right?
Yeah.
We started getting to that.
I mean, they were kind of dissipating. I just felt like they weren't going to come back. Like I felt like I was really moving on. Like I could really leave it behind. Otherwise, I was in this chain of like that constant fear was perpetuating it basically. And I was holding it inside my body all that time.
Yeah. It gives you a lot of clarity.
Yeah. Well, it was really profound actually too. Like I've worked with lots of different therapists, and within the first session of working with you, we got to my root cause and I was like, dang, like
why did no one tell me that before?
I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, and I'm a like introvert, like I think a lot about things and I'm pretty self-reflective. And I was like, oh my gosh, she really, this whole time, like that's the feeling. And it was pretty profound just to have that experience.
And then when we know that, we can start getting rid of the stuff that's created, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool. So what are the biggest changes that you found, like through the process and now?
Through the process was just relief, the emotional burden of fear. And being more hopeful that I could get rid of some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And other things like I felt very shameful to be sick, very guilty, that I couldn't function like other people, and I put a lot of pressure on myself. So just like the actual just feeling better, like my problems. But then in the outside world, it was just being able to like go places again, because that was a big thing. Like I was afraid to go anywhere and be like, well, what if I pass out, or what if because weird things have happened where my legs just turned into noodles and I embarrassed myself. And I was afraid to drive. I was afraid to go on long road trips farther away from the hospital. So just being able to like go out to eat, go on road trips, go on outings, be on my own, be comfortable in my bed, just being able to do more. Like, and now I'm working again, the first time in like 5 years. So
yeah, well, that's sort of my next question. So what is your life like now?
I constantly say to my husband, can you believe I'm doing this? Can you believe I'm doing this? Like, that's what my life is like now. And he's like, yes, I can believe, because he knew me before, but maybe I didn't really believe that it could happen.
Mhm.
So it's just, again, that, anything's possible, and we can change our lives. We can change our beliefs. I mean, so many things. Like, it's just so weird. I mean, seemingly like not a big deal to, oh, sorry, my cat has asthma.
I have to fix your cat now.
I know, I was just gonna say that, like, I constantly whisper to him in his ear, you can be well. You are well. I don't know if you,
I love it.
it's hilarious. So anyways, just the things that I think probably healthy people take for granted every day. I notice the difference in my life of what I can do.
Hmm.
And at night, I'm like, I just did multiple things in one day versus like, okay, I'll muster up energy to wash the dishes. Like, I don't even think about it anymore. Life becomes fuller.
Mhm.
Just
And
like,
you're working with businesses, right?
yeah, yep. I'm creating a website about my health experience and journey and what I learned to try to help different people build endurance, manage pain, stuff like that, and talk about mind body work. And
Mhm.
I work with you, just pretty much everything that goes into healing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then I'm also selling beauty counter products, which help for, people who want to remove toxic chemicals from their life and affects autoimmune health and stuff. So, but both of those things I'm passionate about, I enjoy doing. I feel energized, where I was worried for a while that work's going to deplete me.
Mhm.
Just
We
all
got
these,
rid of that though the other day, right?
yeah, just all these beliefs basically that
Mhm.
weren't helping me.
Exactly. I remember when we were working together and you were able to, was it go out for lunch? Was it with your mom or was it with a friend?
When we first started working together,
The first time you went out for lunch.
yeah, my mom. Yeah.
And it was fine.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, it was still a little scary. It took a while for my brain to catch up.
Yeah.
In my body. It took a while for things to link up. And then there was a couple situations that would throw me out again, and then I'd have to work with you and kind of get back on track. But I feel like, and that I've never had such a quick turnaround. Like when I explained it to my sister, she basically like, okay, well, maybe you could do, some like healing with somebody, but like it wouldn't have been this fast. And I was like, basically, like, I mean, I don't even think I probably could have tapped into some of those. I don't think you can tap into some of those things without specific techniques, anyways. But
And it was like a few months, really.
right.
Yeah, it is very fast, very quick changes. And I'm so excited for you, Katie. I love it. And I'm wearing some of her skincare right now. If I look extra youthful and beautiful, that's why. What would you say to somebody who is kind of on the fence about booking like a breakthrough info call with me?
I would just wonder what that hesitation is. I guess truly one of my hesitations was like, I was just in such severe symptoms that working with you happened at the perfect time, so if I don't know what would make someone's situation be better. I don't know what they're truly looking for. I guess I can't really say, but for me, the way I look at it and the way I've told my friends is that you're saving yourself a lot of time and a lot of money on future healthcare costs. Well, for me, being so sick, healthcare costs and therapy costs and medication costs, if you just do the work now. Like, just do the work now and then it's done. And you move on with your life. Like, I don't know what else.
And it's simple.
Yeah.
It's simple. I won't say easy, but it's simple. It's compared to a lot of things fairly painless, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard working on emotions and trauma. It is hard, but you feel so much better when it's done.
Yeah.
Like the relief is just worth it. Like it's just so worth it.
Yes. Well, of course, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about your success and how amazing you're doing. So I'll ask you, Katie, if there's any of your two businesses, if you want to share the websites like in the comments of this in my group, in case anybody's interested, following up with you or having a look at the skincare that's really safe and really high quality, or your website or anything like that. So you could post those below. And I'll also post the link to book a call with me. And on this call, we'll just basically go through a strategy of how you can get to where you want to be. And, whether we would even be a good fit to work together, right? So it's something that you have to be ready to do, right? You have to be done with your problem, right? Ready to move forward with both feet, 100%.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, I was definitely ready. I just wanted to feel good. I think it's too why I felt like we went through it pretty quick because I was ready to let it all go.
Exactly. You were awesome to work with because of that, right? You were just like done.
Done. I'll do whatever it takes. My attitude is I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And I'm open-minded and I'm hardworking, so that's just my mentality.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone has any questions for Katie too, you can post them in the comments. I don't think I can see the question. If there are comments, I don't think I can see them in this platform. But yeah, you can ask her questions. She's happy to answer them. And is there anything else you want to add?
No, actually, my website's not up yet. So all I can really do is link to my Beauty Counter site. And
so just
I can
post it in
my
the group
email.
when it's ready.
Okay. I can leave my email too if you have questions about that or my website. But
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm excited
Thanks so
to
much.
see it. Thank you so much, Katie. I'm really excited for you. And I will talk to you soon.
Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. You can also find me on social media at Breakthrough Eleni. And if you're ready to move forward with some amazing healing, you can find me over at my website, www.breakthrougheleni.com. We'll chat again next week. See you then.